Hey, welcome to A Little in Light. I'm Samantha. I want to go over the kidding supplies that I try to keep on hand whenever I know I'm gonna have babies born. I had originally planned to film this last week, but the day that I came out here to film, I walked outside and Sayla was not only in active labor, but she had two little baby goat feet hanging out of her. So I just turned the camera on and started filming that instead. So we're gonna backtrack a little here and we're gonna talk about how to get ready for goat babies to be born on your farm. Hey bud, you wanna come in? You gonna help me make a video tonight, dude? Okay, cool. You work on the bone and I'll film. Let me start off by saying I'm not an expert. This was only our second kidding. However, I've done a lot of research and have gotten advice from vets because I am not a vet. And this is kind of what we've come up with. Now, I don't have everything on hand that I would like to. I have what I felt was the most important, and as time goes on, I'm sure this kit will grow. But here's what I have right now. So number one on my list, and this is not ranked by like importance or anything, is just some gloves. These are just blue nitrile gloves. I think we got these from like Harbor Freight. They're not sterile or anything like that. It's really just to keep you from having to touch anything too gross. And if you don't need gloves, then power to you. But sometimes I need them. Okay, this next one is kind of a loaded thing. So I have some chemical dewormer here. I do not routinely worm or deworm my goats because there's just a whole thing. I could do a whole video about that, and I will if you want me to. Most goats are no longer able to be wormed with like Safeguard or ivermectin, that kind of stuff. So this is a really powerful one that I know is gonna work, and I do not use this on a regular basis. This is like emergency only kind of stuff. This is Quest, this is moxidectin. I got it at Tractor Supply. This is a horse wormer. A lot of people recommend that you worm your goat, or deworm, whatever, your goats directly after they give birth. I did do that with Sayla just because I was not able to get a fecal done on her, and she has triplets, and I really want to make sure she doesn't start going downhill because it's gonna be really hard to get her back with her having to feed 3 babies. So to be on the safe side, I did worm her this time. Now, I have already put in my order for some Molly's Herbal dewormer, and that is what we will be using full time here on out. But again, for like wormers specifically, I will do a whole video just on that, kind of explaining it because I think that's something that's not talked about a lot. Now, back on topic a little bit. I also have, this is just Vaseline. This is a really small one. We actually have a huge one in the house that I need to bring out here. But Vaseline, any kind of lubricant, just in case you do have to help. If there's a baby who is stuck or something, you really got to get those hands nice and slick before you try to go and help, because you're really gonna hurt mama if you don't. This next thing, I actually don't have it out here with me, but dental floss. If you need to cut the umbilical cord, which you most of the time do not need to do, unless it is like bleeding profusely on its own, so you just tie it off and then you can dip the bottom in cornstarch to stop the bleeding. A lot of this is just emergency medicine. It's not like every time your goat has babies you're gonna need to use all of this stuff. It's just kind of a use at your discretion / what your vet says. To go along with the dental floss and umbilical cord type things, you want to keep some, good scissors on hand. I have several pairs of hoof trimming clippers like these. I think I got these from Rural King? I have several pairs. So like one of these is from Rural King, the other one is from Amazon. I can find that and link it below. It's not an affiliate link or anything. And I like them really well. So one of them is clean and sterile, and I just use it as really sharp scissors. And then the other one is actually for their hooves. The next thing that I have on hand, which of course is inside too because I just used it, is molasses. You can get like the big giant gallon things of them from like Tractor Supply. I got mine from Walmart. It's like $2, but mine's a lot smaller. It's like for cooking and human consumption. I just bought it because I was in Walmart and I needed it, so that's what happened there. So right after Sayla gave birth, I mixed up some warm water and the molasses and gave that to her to drink. It just really helps them bounce back from labor a lot better, and it gives them some more energy. At that point, I wasn't really sure if she was done kidding yet, and, you know, wanted her to be able to get through it if there was another one. The next thing is lots of towels. These are just old raggedy towels. Actually, this one is an old baby blanket of Judah's that a friend of ours gave to us, so it's finding new use out here in the barn. If you didn't catch the video of the birth of our triplet babies, you saw that I used the towels. I just cleaned their face off. I use it to pick them up and move them because I wasn't wearing any gloves because, you know, it was happening very fast. But yes, towels. Lots of towels. I only have 3 out here right now. I'll be adding to that collection. As my towels that are inside start to deteriorate, they'll find new life out here. Next up, we've got iodine or betadine, whichever. I think most people recommend betadine, which iodine is like the main ingredient of. And I want to say that it's like a 10% solution, but I didn't have any here. So when I do need to use it, I've been using this teat dip. Pretty sure this is from Amazon. Again, I will link this below. This is just a 1% solution, and while it's not as potent, I guess, it still works. It's better than putting nothing on there, and instead of buying something else, I'm just gonna use what I already have, even though it's not as good. The last thing that I have on hand right now is a headlamp. We got this one from Harbor Freight, I believe. It was like $10 or something. We might have had a coupon, but it's very bright, so gets the job done. We were really lucky. Our girl had her babies midday, so nice and bright outside, but that's not always the case, and instead of having a flashlight that you have to hold or have somebody else hold, it's just way easier if you can just pop that thing on your head and not have to worry about it anymore. Oh, you know what? I lied. There is one more thing that it is definitely more important than anything I've shown you. And that is the contact information for a local, hopefully, vet. Now, if you can't find a local vet that is willing to work on goats, that's okay. If you're in one of those situations where you have no way of contacting a local-ish vet, there's a great group on Facebook called Goat Vet Corner. That is a place where you can go to ask questions, and only vets will answer. I actually had to do that when Sayla was giving birth because one of the babies' sac had not broken, and I was, trying to figure out if I should break the sac or not because it seemed like it was making her labor harder. Anyways, they recommended leaving it, and so I did. But situations like that, it's nice to have somewhere you can go that is a well of knowledge that you can pull from and, just kind of have some reassurance. So that's pretty much it. That is my kidding, birthing, goat, baby kit. If you would like to see daily content from us, a great place to do that is on Instagram. I post daily there, and I am constantly updating our stories so that you can see what we're doing when we're doing it, instead of YouTube where there's a little bit of a delay. If you enjoyed hanging out in our little corner of YouTube today, please consider liking, sharing, or commenting down below. This just tells the YouTube algorithm that you liked what you saw and it should show our content to other people. And it's really non-committal. It doesn't mean you have to come back or any of that. But if you do feel like committing to us, then a great way to do that is by subscribing and hitting that notification bell so that you get told when we put out new videos. Alright guys, well, that's it. That's all I have for you today. So, until we meet again, bye y'all.